Guys, welcome back to this House of Fashion. Hope you have a wonderful day. Today I'll be showing you how to pad a bumps, that is bumps padding. So the necessary measurement will be taking it on the mannequin because this is the measurement we're going to use. So if you want to pad your bumps, we have from the waist to the bumps point, then to the under the bust. From the waist to the bumps point, then from here to under the bumps, then the length of the skirt. The distance of the two bumps, you can see. So that is all we're going to take here now. So let's start the measurement. What we need here, we need the roundness of the waist, that is the waist measurement. The waist measurement of 25 inches is the waist measurement we are using. Then after the waist measurement, we are going to take the hip measurement. The hip measurement of 39 inches. You can see this is the hip measurement of 39. The hip measurement of 41 inches. You can see we are able to wear it and we are able to off it. So the measurement is 41 inches. So the next thing we need is the bumps point. Starting from the waist here, the bumps point is 11.5. Then from there we're going to take the under the bumps, which is 15 inches. Then the length of our skirt is going to be 21 inches. So the difference of the two bumps, is 8 inches. So with all this measurement, that is what we are going to work with. I'll be using this Akan fabric to cut it out. But before then, I'll be cutting it on the pattern paper before placing it on this. So the first thing I'm going to do is to fold my fabric into two this way. When you're folding into two, you have to confirm maybe it will be okay for the distance of the difference of the bumps. And this is 4 inches with the same allowance. Now we're still going to add the same allowance to it. Then it's at the back, then it's going to have a zip allowance. So I'll be using zip allowance of 1 inch. 1 inch of zip allowance here. So I'm using one inch for the zip allowance. You can see. So the next thing to take here is starting from the upper part here to take the bumps point from the waist here to the bumps point, which is 11.5 inches. These are bumps point. So then we have to know the under the bumps from here also. The under the bumps is, so this is under the bumps. Then the skirt length is 21 inches. You can see I'll be adding seam allowance to it when I'm placing it on the fabric. So this is our bumps point. This is under the bumps. You can see now. So the next thing to take here is the distance of the two bumps, which is 8 inches. This is 8 inches. That means we are going to use 4 inches. You can see this is 4 inches. Then I'll come down to under the bust. Then I'll be minus. I'll come down to under the bumps. Then I'll be half inch from the distance of the 2 bumps. That is going to give us 3.5 inches. Then this 4 inches, we're going to add a seam allowance of half inch to it. You can see now, this is half inch. Then when you come to this area, I'll be adding a seam allowance of 0.2 to it. 0.2. It's not going to up to 0.5. So after this, since I've gotten all this, I'm going to take the upper part, which is going to be the distance of the 2 busts at the upper part, and that's going to be our dart measurement. So to get the upper part now is going to be our dart measurement. The dart I'm using here, I'll be making use of 3 inches. That's 6 inches dart, with a seam allowance of half inch for the dart. So that means this upper part is 3.5 inches. Then I'll be connecting my lines to this area. You can see. Then from here, and the down part here, I'll be making use of the same measurement I used at the upper part, which is 3.5 inches with the same allowance. Then I'm going to connect it also. So for me not to have a sharp edge here, I'm going to use my hip core for the roundness. So like this, you can see. So this is the sketching now. The next thing to do is to cut it out. So you cannot see now. You can see. And if you want the shape to come out more than this, you can as well reduce this area. So I can just reduce this area with, let me use 0.2 here also. 0.2 instead of 0.5. Then I'm going to, so like this. Then I'll be cutting it out. So you can see the shape comes out properly than before. So you can start to use 3 inches, depending on how you want it to be. But by the time we stitch it, it's going to give out what we want. So after cutting it out, the next thing you're going to do is to face it to yourself this way. You can see, you know, this is the upper part and this is the down part. Don't do the mistake. Then you face it to yourself on the pattern paper this way to bring out the shape. So you can see. Then the next thing is to trace it out. So you can see now. Then I'll be removing all this. So after this, now I'll be facing it to myself like this. Mind you, if you should notch the bump spot like this, so as to know the point at where the bumps is, and under the bumps, under the bumps also, like this. You can see now. So the next thing is to face it to each other this way, then by placing it with half inch. After placing it like this, the next thing is to take the necessary measurement. Our measurement is 25 inches for the waist. This is 24. This is 26. Let me use 26 since we're still going to add a seam allowance to it. So after that, we're going to add a seam allowance of 1.5 to it. Then you come down to the hip point here. The hip point is 9.5 inches. These are hip points here. Then from the hip point here, from the hip point here, we'll be taking our hip measurement of 41 inches. That is 10 point. If you're using 10.5, that means it's 42. So since we're still going to add allowance to it, let's use 42 inches with a seam allowance of 1.5 inches. So instead of adding 2 inches of seam allowance, I'm adding 1.5 inches of seam allowance. You can see. After that, we are going to use the dampers to be the bumps. The hip measurement is 41 inches, but here I'll be making use of 38 inches. It depends on how firm you want the damper to be. So this is 9.5 in 4 places is going to give 38 inches. So with the seam allowance of making use of 1 inch here of seam allowance. Then from here, I'll be connecting it up to the hip point. Then from here also to this area, to the waist. Then the sharp area here, I don't want it, so I have to blend it up to give me a nice curve. You can see. So the next thing is to cut it out. So you can see now. This is now the side, and this is the center. So this is what we'll be placing on the fabric to cut it out. I'll be using this as well to cut the center front, by folding this so that it won't have this allowance at the front. So I'll be folding it to cut out the center front, and also place it like this to cut out the center back like this. Then the first side of the skirt, this is what I'll be using. So let me place it on the fabric to cut it out. So I'll be adding 1 inch of allowance to it, 1 inch. Then I cannot cut it out. This is after cutting out the front, and I've added the same amount of 1 into it as well. Then the front does not have bumps. The front does not have bump, so I'm going to cut it out. You can see, so this is now the front. Now I'm going to cut out facing for them, then I'm going to put a gum stay as well. Let me go and do that and show it to you. Come back to the ironing section. This is one of center back. You can see this is zip allowance, then center back. You can see this is the bumps point and under the bumps. So the next thing I want to do now is to add my gum stay to it. The gum stain I'm adding here is going to be of 6 layers. If you don't want to make use of gum stain, you can make use of a foam of 1 inch just to make it thick. But here I'll be making use of gum stain. Welcome back. This is after adding the stay. You can see this is the 2 side for the back, and this is the 2 center for the back. You know, the back has a zip allowance, and here is it. This is the 2 center. This is the first one, and this is the second one. You can see. So then we have the center for front here. You know, the front does not have, this is the center for front, this particular one. The front does not have button, so it has to straight this way, and these are the 2 sides of the front that is going to be on it. So after cutting all this, I'm still going to add something to it to make it puff out very well, and we're still going to cut the facing to this. So let's meet at the next episode, where we're going to join everything together.